the scenes of
how you can sell more,
save time,
reduce the cost of your leads,
and produce predictable results every single day.
Let's get it on.
Woo! Oh, Mr. Craig, we are back.
Sing it, Mr. Jason, sing it.
Tele-funnels, tele me.
And I think they left. That's why you were the drummer.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly why. And by the way, between your stuffiness and my singing, we have quite the group going right now. Okay, let's jump into it. So we were talking about leads, Mr. Craig. Well, we were talking about team before,
that's a true story.
You and I were talking about leads.
We were just before this.
Yeah. Just before this.
And over the elite dude. I think we got some lead talking there.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
In the elite dudes group for all the tele dudes clients out there. And this is a huge subject because it's probably one of the most important parts of your telefunnel. And I think the misconception is, we always joke about it. These leads are bad.
Right. Where's the good ones?
Where's the good leads? Like what, we talked a little bit about, the only metric that matters is the contact rate. Like if they can be contacted, boom, that's all we care about. Yes. But what kind of leads? We kind of categorize them into 4 categories, right?
We sure do.
What are those categories, Mr. Craig?
I'd say you have your worst one or your least great one. And that'd be your raw data, right? So the stuff that you're getting from your Colex dates of the world, the sales GDs of the world, it's just a bunch of information they've scraped off the interwebs.
It's like public data. Like it's not
old public data.
Old, the very inaccurate.
Right. Older than me.
Older than Mr. Craig.
Yes.
We don't know if they ever wanted insurance. Well, I guess they have to have it. So.
Yeah. Well, then they really didn't want it.
But it becomes hard because maybe they don't search the internet for insurance, which I'd find that almost hard, almost impossible to believe these days, right?
Right.
I mean,
you don't wait for your phone book to show up at your house?
Right.
So you could rifle through and look at the ads.
Yeah. You've used these, right? You've tried this before in the past.
Yeah.
Or no?
Not for very long. It didn't work.
I tried both of them.
Yeah.
The 2 places that you've mentioned, and the contact rate was so bad. Half the numbers were bad, so they weren't even ringing half the time. The other ones,
scrub it, lose all of them.
Yeah.
Or
a lot of wrong names attached with the numbers.
Yeah.
So automatically the barrier to entry is tougher because you're backpedaling to begin with the name. It was, I forget the percentage of contacts, but it was so low, it was ridiculous.
So then what happened? It was like under 1% or under is what you're going to expect from that kind of data.
So then what happens? I know we just talked about this, but what happens when the contact rate is that low?
Okay, well, if we know that we want to shoot for a 15% contact rate, you're looking at it taking 15 times longer to get the same result, and probably not even as good of a result because there's absolutely no interest in what you're calling about. They didn't fill a thing out.
Yeah. Yep. The coldest lead possible.
It's not a lead.
Yeah.
That's cold calling.
Right. Maybe this shouldn't even be called a lead at this point.
Yeah. Maybe it should be category 0 because it's outside of it.
So that's number 1. What is number 2?
Well, number 2 is a little better.
Up the ladder.
Yeah. Number.
Do you want me to say it? You
go. Yeah.
Aged data is number 2.
Yeah. And you know what? I know a lot of people that built solid books of businesses off of aged. It can be done.
Sure.
It can be done.
Yep.
But what is the most expensive thing of that exists? The most costly resource? Time.
And I was, one of the other things is TCPA, right? These people might have opted in the past, but you only have a small window that you can call them. So they're almost guaranteed to be out of that window. So you have to scrub them, and you're still running that risk. So I guess that's one of the dangers, right?
Yeah. I think it's slow, so that's expensive. So you're losing that time. You're losing the time side for what you're making up in cost, but also your contact is still going to be low, 5%, 6% maybe.
Yep. And how do you think these aged lead vendors make their money? Because they're selling them dirt cheap leads.
Yeah. Sell them to a million people.
That's the problem. So it's like, by that point, they're just over it. And if you're in a bigger city, we've seen it work in some areas.
Yeah.
Heck, anything can work if you go all in, right?
Anything could work, but again, are you going to pay a little bit more to get a quicker turnaround? I think that the quicker the turnaround, the quicker your telefunnels running.
Yeah, and your fixed costs become a lot lower, right?
Yeah.
So number 3, the third one, and these are the ones I'm digging.
Yeah.
They're like the dollar dude leads. Yep. They're just short form leads that might be a co-op lead where it's like, they're opting in for multiple things.
Right.
It's like a pop-up on a website. Somebody's searching for something else, a quick little pop-up. They put in their data, maybe not all of their information, just some of it. Short form lead, less intent than a long form lead in theory, right?
Yeah.
So those are good. You can get them pretty inexpensive. With the teledudes can get them for $1 through us.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I like those.
They're good. Again, take a little bit longer.
Right? Yeah. So not as long as an age lead.
Not as long as an age lead.
Right.
But on the flip side of it, because you have to get through more of them to get to your result, now you might be clogging up the pipeline, like how I'm clogged up with the congestion.
Right. Your pipeline is very clogged up at the moment.
Upper pipeline.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So then you got to factor in, for you, is time or money the bigger asset to you at the moment? Can you afford maybe a little higher intent lead? And that brings us to category number 4.
I'm excited. Category number 4.
It's your typical live lead, long form. Long form live lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere. How much do these things cost?
I mean, okay, so these can cost anywhere advertised $5 to $14, maybe 18. I don't know.
Yeah.
They start putting all the bells and whistles. It's like a car, right? Yeah. You get you get your Toyota. That's a good car, already has some great stuff on it. Now you get it fully loaded. All of a sudden there's an extra 15, 20 grand. Now we're getting towards luxury car range, but the luxury counterpart would be the Lexus, which is the same car.
Yeah.
But all the bells and whistles just are a little bit better. So now instead of being 15,000 more than that base price Toyota, now you're up 20, 40,000 more.
Right.
The Toyota.
Yeah. And the challenge then is okay. I guess the way that it can be sold is, hey, look, this person has prior. This person, no majors. This person has 5 cars and a house, right? Yep. But what's the big barrier? What could happen? You pay all this money for it, but then what? What, Mr. Jason?
It's just it seems to be very difficult on the cost per policy, right? Because it's scale.
Well, and you got to get them on the phone. Just because you have all the great information doesn't mean that they're going to answer the phone. So let's say you get 10 of the, and they're $3, just throwing a number out. You get 10 of those. You only get a hold of 2 of them, right? Okay.
Yep.
And then you quote one or, whatever. You work out all the numbers. But you get 2 of the other one because it costs about the same, or 3 of the other one. Your likelihood of making contact out of 3 is very low, right? At least day one. Now, if you throw them into a telefunnel and you're calling, yeah, you're probably eventually going to get a hold of them. But there's also that speed, that first contact. Whoever gets to the first contact has a higher likelihood of actually getting that business. So I don't know. It's been my experience, and I know it's been your experience too, that the lower end of this fourth category have performed the best and yielded the best cost per policy.
Right, because I think people think that the timing is the most important factor. We actually haven't talked about this much. I think people think, all the systems say like, oh, ours will call the lead the fastest.
Right.
But what we've noticed, and we've actually noticed this with our telemarketers too, it's not the speed as it is the tenacity. We noticed that those calls, and we'll actually go over this next time. I'm going to write myself a little note here.
Ooh.
Note to self.
Use cursive.
Yes. Use cursive. I'm not good at it. I'll be totally honest.
No, but I haven't.
It is really the numbers, right? We see these numbers closing on a ton of dials. It really doesn't matter. Like if we're both going after the same lead and you're calling all of them the first day, but I'm calling the second day 8 times a day, and you're only calling them 3 times that first day, 3 times the next day, and then that's it. I'll win the policy all day long.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily the speed. I guess when I say that, that's at scale. That's as you're growing. That's like multiple people doing this. You're going to net. I'm going to net more. So I think that's a big thing to look at. Is it's always great to be the fastest one to the lead, but the most important thing is to have more dials.
Yeah, I think next time. Or one of the next times, we should go through those numbers. Remember that pipeline that we have on the webinar that everybody should go to, where we break down all the numbers, the real numbers from, what was that, 300,000 dials?
Yep.
A lot of dials.
300,000 dials. Well, that's great. I think so. Just to recap, guys, remember the cost of time for those lower intent categories 1, 2, really 1 and 2 mainly, the scraped data out there, and then the age lead, a lot of times can cost you a lot more time in labor than it's worth even using. Plus you're running a big risk when you start getting into fully opted in leads where you get the digital certificate, TCPA compliant, then there is a higher intent, but there's a lower time. Like the faster you can get at those, or close those, the faster you make money. Lower cost of sale.
That's why we're doing this.
That's right, Mr.
Because then you could take what you made and put it back in, and just keep multiplying it.
The snowball effect, Mr. Craig.
I like the snowball. The snowball's fun. Just keep going. Keep rolling that thing.
Get it bigger.
I'm not going to say it.
Don't say
All
it.
right. We'll see you next time.
Until next week.
Okay. Bye.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes. It's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it.